Hey everyone, it's Ronald's World and Opinions here. So tonight I am going to finally talk about this MacBook Pro that Apple announced. Like for real, make a review on it and actually talk about it. So I didn't get to see this thing at the Apple store yet. It's not there, but I got to see the 13-inch model that didn't have that touch bar thing. That had the two Thunderbolt 3 ports and all that stuff. Yeah, so this is what it says, up to 130% faster graphics and brighter display, 67% and thinner and all that stuff. It's 17% thinner and that kind of thing. And it's like 3 pounds. I actually got to like feel them. They're like 3 pounds. It's actually like 3 pounds, super light, but yeah. So I'm gonna okay. So I'm scrolling down the page, so I'm on the touch bar section. So I think this touch bar is really a big time joke. It's really a gimmick. I mean, to be honest with you, it's not gonna do you anything. It's cool to have it, but it's such a gimmick for productivity. I'm not gonna get anything done with this stupid touch bar thing that they put on there. To me, it's like, why don't they put a touchscreen on it? Like, you see this right here? I can do this, right? And it's a touchscreen right on the HP, or my Lenovo has it too. So I don't know why they didn't put a touchscreen on the MacBook, like a full-on touchscreen. I don't understand it. It's one of those things where I can do this with the computer. I could scroll the page, that kind of thing. So that touch bar thing is really a joke, and it should have been a touchscreen, honestly. But the guy that does the software engineering part thing at Apple, he says that the touchscreen won't do you, it's useless and all this other stuff, blah 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 blah. All right, so it's a big time joke that they didn't put a touchscreen. I mean, it's not like I use the touchscreen all the time. I don't really use it on a notebook. On a Surface is useful, but I don't use it on like something like this because, well, it's cumbersome to actually reach and do all this stuff. But hey, it's there if I need it, if I want to use the touchscreen. All right. They might as well just put a touchscreen on that Mac. I don't know why, but I don't think you're ever going to see it because they're like idiots over there. So it is what it is. All right, so next. Performance. All right, here's the deal. The hardware sucks on there. I mean, it's the same Skylake processor that like this computer and my Lenovo has. That's like $900. It has a quad-core i7 Skylake processor. That's the same processor that you find on here. This thing is so expensive and so overpriced for what it is. I mean, the Lenovo was $900, and I have the quad-core i7. I mean, it makes a huge difference when you're video editing and all that stuff. Anyways, they're advertising 130% faster graphics. You're getting a 3.8 gigahertz turbo boosting thing, up to that, up to 100% faster flash storage. Well, I mean, I don't really care about these things. If your computer has an SSD in there, yeah, your computer's already going to be fast. So, I mean, I don't really care about that. Plus, I'm going to most likely run off externals anyways when I do video editing. 10 hours of battery life, like, really? Nah, I mean, it's not going to happen. I'm video editing and all that. I'm not going to get 10 hours of battery life. Trust me. That thing is gone in like 2 hours when you're video editing and stuff like that. All right. Display, it's a nice display, but it's not a 4K display. I mean, a 1080p display is fine. I mean, they have a weird resolution to their displays and all that stuff, so I don't know what they're doing here, but they should have upgraded to a 4K display. I mean, for crying out loud. They have a 5K iMac already, so why don't they just make the MacBook Pros a 4K display? For crying out loud. So, I mean, it's nice for video editing and stuff like that, but oh well, it is what it is with them. Alright, they put the speakers now they moved the speakers to the now it's front facing speakers now, so they put it on the keyboard. So it's okay. It's not like it's the best speakers, but it doesn't sound as good as my Lenovo. My Lenovo has a subwoofer and the speakers are really good. The speakers are very good on there, so speakers are fine, but it doesn't have any bass. It's tinny, it's muddy, all that stuff, I mean, on that computer, so it's just all marketing with them. Alright. 50% volume, 58% more volume, that's baloney. Louder bass, that's kind of baloney. Why don't they put a subwoofer there? Oh well. 2 times dynamic range. I don't know what this is, but I don't really care. I work for a sound company. I know a thing or two about sound, but that's not a very good sounding device. So it's it is what it is. I don't like that keyboard. Okay, the keyboard. I actually saw the keyboard. Honestly, I don't like the keyboard. It's atrocious, to be honest. It's like smaller than this. Like, it's hard to type. At least this thing, you get like some kind of feedback. That thing is so shallow. It's so difficult to type. I don't like that keyboard. And the trackpad, honestly, I got to play around with that trackpad there at the Apple Store with those new MacBooks. They're big and all that, but they skip around like crazy. They skip all over the place and all that. It's not a very good trackpad. It's a joke, honestly. I don't know what they're doing and all that other stuff. Thunderbolt 3. They have 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports on the MacBooks, on the MacBook Pros, but it's a complete disaster and a joke. What were they thinking here with that? Honestly. Honestly, like, it cracks me up, and it still does. Because, well, the reason why, you can't plug anything in. You need a USB-C adapter. I mean, to plug in ports, plug in what else? Your USB-A cables and all that other stuff. You know, it's funny. They made the iPhone and they don't even give you a USB-C to Lightning port. They don't even give you that in the box. I don't know what they're thinking here. It's a joke. And it's just unusable, to be honest with you. With the computer, is just unusable. I mean, I think the older one is much better than these new ones, honestly. At least you can plug in your everything, even your SD card, you can plug it in. This thing is a joke. And they took away your MagSafe connector. I mean, at least it charges your computer and you get all the free ports. You can use it. Yeah, I mean, it will help you. I mean, they use one extra port. It always helps, but I don't know what they're thinking here. Honestly, it is what it is. I mean, oh well. Okay, I've heard people on YouTube say, I mean, when I was talking about computers and all that stuff, I mean, with Mac OS, oh, your computer doesn't run Mac OS, you got the specs with you. Operating systems have nothing to do with performance. It has to do, most of it has to do with hardware. A little bit has to do with the operating system, but honestly, I had Windows. I've been using this for what, almost 16 years. A Windows laptop. Yes, it's improved big time since what, 2001, when that thing was so unstable. But now, I mean, I don't have to run as many Windows updates anymore. With this one, it's much better. Windows 10 is a lot better than before. So, yeah, it's not updating itself every week like the old ones used to. So, it's much more stable. You don't have to worry about it too much. Anyways, Mac OS, it's cool and all that. It's great if you have an iPhone around. I mean, you can easily transfer stuff and transfer files in and out, all that kind of stuff. But without an iPhone, that thing doesn't work very well. That's what I can say. Especially now that you need all those dongles and stuff like that to plug into your Mac. So it's like, it's a joke, and I don't know what they're thinking here. So, oh well, it is what it is. Okay, I'm gonna go through the base models here. I'm not gonna even go and max this thing out and all that because they're absurdly expensive. So, whew, the 13-inch. Got to see this at the Apple Store. 2.0 gigahertz i5 processor with that turbo boost thing up to 3.1. Woo, what were they thinking here? How come it's only 2 gigahertz? They should have been at least 2.5 or something. My HP is much more powerful than this thing. I don't know what they're thinking. Yeah, 256 gigabyte SSD. That's okay. Decent storage, but it's not a pro device by any means. 8 gigs of RAM. It's gonna be hard to video edit with just 8 gigs of RAM. It depends what program you're running. Okay, integrated graphics. Don't like that at all. It's hard to video edit without the graphics cards. I mean, integrated graphics is okay. It's okay, but the dedicated GPU is gonna do much better. You got a force touch trackpad. I don't like that trackpad, as I told you. It skips around. My biggest beef with this one, only 2 Thunderbolt ports, so you're not gonna be able to use it. This thing is unusable, honestly. You gotta buy all those adapters, and then one of them is gonna be used for charging, and then you're only gonna have one port really to use. So it's a waste of this one. This one starts at $14.99. Basically a $1,500 computer here. What a waste of money. Don't even get this thing. The next up is the 13-inch with the touch bar. Okay. So this thing has a 2.9 dual core i5 processor. Okay, they have that turbo boost thing, the 3.3 gigahertz. Okay, not bad. I mean, it starts off at 256 gigabyte PCIe based SSD. Again, it's not a pro device. Not enough storage, honestly. You gotta move everything to the hard drives and stuff like that, if you can. What were they thinking here with this one? 8 gigs of RAM? I mean, I know you can upgrade it to 16 and all this other stuff. Even a 13-inch without the touch bar, you could upgrade the RAM and all that, but it's a pain in the ass. I mean, you can't even upgrade it like after you buy it. I mean, it's such a pain in the ass. I don't know what they're thinking here. How come only 8 gigs of RAM? I mean, oh well. You get Intel Iris 550. Okay, a little bit better integrated graphics card, but it's not a dedicated GPU. I mean, what were they thinking here, not putting a GPU? They were able to do this with the Surface. It was as thin as that, and they were able to put the GPU in there. I mean, how come they can't do that on their Macs? Oh well, oh well. What can I complain about? It's a waste of time. They have a force touch trackpad, but again, as I already said, I don't like that trackpad. It skips around, and I don't like that keyboard either. It's too small, hard to type on it, and all that. I make a lot of errors and mistakes when I try to type on that thing. Okay, you got 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports. Realistically, you're only gonna have 3 to use because one of them is gonna be used for charging. So you're not gonna have enough ports to do anything. And they took away your SD card, so again, your SD card slot. So again, you're not gonna be able to do any video editing. It's hard to do it because you can't plug in local storage. So, oh well. Okay, the 15-inch one. Oh, by the way, the 13-inch one with the touch bar starts off at $1,800. Whoo, man, what are they thinking here? That is expensive. I mean, I call that the base model MacBook Pro, but that thing is expensive. Oh my goodness, it makes me. I mean, what are they thinking here? I mean, for $200 more, you can just get a really powerful gaming laptop at the Microsoft store that does more than this thing can even do. It has more RAM, has a better graphics card, and you have a bigger screen on top of it. I'm like, oh well, it is what it is. The 15-inch one with the touch bar and touch ID. Okay, starts off at 2.6 gigahertz quad core. It's a 6700 HQ processor. It's the same processor my Lenovo has, and I paid $900 for that thing. crazy. And this thing starts off at what, $2,400 plus taxes, like $2,500 for this stupid thing. Okay, turbo boost to 3.5 gigahertz. Okay, that's what my Lenovo does. Okay, what are they thinking here? How come they only give you 256 gigabyte SSD? I'm like, that, and you can't upgrade these things, by the way, as I said before. You're not gonna be able to upgrade these SSDs. You can't upgrade anything in it. It's a waste of money to me. So 256 is not enough for people who's video editing, like myself, that does this kind of thing. Not enough SSD, not enough storage. You might want to go with the at least 512. But that's like big dollars, man, to upgrade this stuff. It's just big dollars and all that. You have 16 gigs of RAM. I mean, it's decent. It's enough. I mean, I have 12 gigs on my computer. It never slows down at all. So it's enough, but they should have given you the option at least to give you at least 32 gigs of RAM, since you can't upgrade it. I don't know what they're thinking here. They're just Phil Schiller, all these people over there, bunch of idiots, honestly. Okay, you got a Radeon Pro. Okay, remember Radeon's AMD, so Radeon Pro 450 with 2 gigs of memory. It's a graphics card. I don't like this graphics card. They should have put an NVIDIA graphics card in it. Even a low-end NVIDIA graphics card is better than this graphics card. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? What kind of graphics card is this? This is a cheap-ass graphics card. Okay, they put a trackpad. Okay, and they also put Thunderbolt. All right. Okay, I don't need to bore you around with these specs, but what I'm gonna say, this is a waste of money. Big waste of money. You can get gaming computers for like half the price, more than half the price on some of them, and you get better performance. You get a better graphics card too than any of these, and you get the ports. Some of them has some USB-C ports on them, and you get your regular ports. Yeah, they're thicker, they're heavier, they don't have the big battery life, but again, I do video editing and all this other graphic stuff. They're not gonna last that long in terms of battery life. None of these things do. It's just a bunch of bull with Apple. It's just a scam and a waste of money and all that other stuff. This thing, I don't know what they're thinking. They need to fire all these people that's making all these decisions there. Tim Cook, Phil Schiller, Johnny Ive, and Craig Federle. They need to fire all these idiots there and put better people there that know what they're doing and that actually gives customers prosumers what the heck they want. I mean, this is a fucking joke. I mean, I'm only talking about the MacBook. I mean, this is. I wouldn't get this thing. It's a waste of my money, man. I can just get a gaming laptop at Microsoft that's even more powerful than any of these. Yes, they're heavier, they're thicker, but they have more performance than any of these. And you get a better graphics card. One of them has a 1070 and GTX 1070 in it. And then you can plug in something like a Razer core in there. Theoretically, you can plug in a Razer core inside inside these Windows machines. And you can always upgrade your GPU. Pretty sick. And you can upgrade the RAM and SSD there. I'm like, these things you can't even do any of that stuff. It's soldered on. Can't do it. You gotta take apart the motherboard to even put a new one in. So basically, if you want to upgrade the computer, you gotta take that whole motherboard out and put a new one in. And that's how you're gonna be able to do this. And I don't like the fact that it's so thin. I mean, it's cool that it's light and stuff, but this thing has no performance. I mean, it's a waste of money. Can't do work, and that's about it. Alright, folks. Enough of me talking about this MacBook. In conclusion, it's just e-waste and a waste of money. There's better stuff out there for less money and better things to get in terms of computers and stuff. They're just becoming luxury items and fashion accessories, and computers are not fashion accessories, to be honest. They're tools to get work done. These are not tools to get things done. These are unusable, waste of money, bad graphics cards, all that stuff. Get a gaming PC if you're going to do video editing. It's going to be much better. You're going to have a better experience and all that stuff. Alright folks, I had enough of this. I will see you in the next video. Talk to you later. Peace, and have a great night everyone.